But you're right. I think Frank Myers had 42 years perfect attendance in the club. Joe, thank you for those words and telling us about Rotary and all the important aspects of Rotary and how Rotary has affected lives over the years. Now I'm going to have a very special person talk about polio fundraising efforts spearheaded by her husband Carl during Dean Worcester's year as president. Jewel, if you'll come up and talk about that fundraising effort.
I will tell you all that, adding on to Joe's comments, it was a wonderful privilege to walk down Michigan Avenue. What did I do?
I think you hit the
I won't touch it, I promise. Walking down Michigan Avenue in Chicago with our banner that said 288 consecutive meetings for the 100th anniversary of Rotary. That was really, really special. And all of us that were there will remember it. And I tried to get everybody to go on the train like they had done before, but I didn't have much success with it. So now, on to polio.
It's you, Jewel.
Like TSA.
What should I do? I'm not touching anything.
It's all yours.
This is not part of my 3 minutes.
No, you're not doing
You
that.
mean hold it? You mean hold it? Okay. What? Okay, I want to thank the committee for asking me to do this particular story. Many others that are here tonight could have told it, probably told it better. So I feel honored to share with you the story of this significant event in our club. Rotary International sent out a decree that we were going to work with the World Health Association, UNICEF, CDC, and that we were going to eradicate polio in the world. And to do that, in 1988, they sent out this notice that each club would be responsible for raising a certain amount of money. You could pledge and you could raise that money over a 5-year period. Dean Worcester was president, and he asked Carl Emsweiler to chair this event. According to Joe Kelly, because I don't remember, Carl chose Joe Kelly, Jack Wallace, George Atwell, and maybe O.B. Knight. The committee took on the form of its chair, low-key and quietly meeting with members individually, and the members responded. There was a 5-year window to meet your pledge, and everyone who pledged met their pledge. How amazing is that? That just never happens. You've heard this part of the story many times. The small club of not quite 50 members raised, according to Dean Worcester, $92,000. Now, I've heard 87,000, I've heard 100,000. Take your pick. But in today's numbers, about $500,000 was raised. This is truly phenomenal. RI had asked us to raise $20,000. There were so many side benefits to this achievement. The bonding of the club and the pride they felt in what they had achieved. Taking ownership of helping to eradicate polio. Through the efforts of this polio campaign, our money was transferred to points, and we were able to name all our members who were not Paul Harris Fellows a Paul Harris Fellow. And so for a short period of time, we achieved a goal that most clubs will never reach. Carl spoke that night that this happened, and he talked about how proud he was to be a Rotarian and how proud he was to be a Paul Harris Fellow. And this all started with our club making a decision to support this effort Thanks to Dean and to the committee for presenting in such a way as to make this club want to support this effort. George Atwell has been on multiple trips to give the vaccine, and I like to think that his commitment toward polio started in 1988 with this effort by his club at the time. Today, we have not eradicated polio, but this is what we have done. Today, $900 billion has been contributed by 33,000 clubs in more than 200 countries. Rotary has given over 2 billion vaccines to children. Last year, there were just 700 cases of polio, but as long as there's one child that gets polio, no child is safe. We can take great pride in this club in the manner in which we stepped up and did much more than our share. But that's why this club is so special. We always step up, and we always do more, and we will continue to do the same in future, whatever the crisis may be. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Where, was that East Market Street or West Market Street with the palm trees in the background?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Dee Jonas is going to talk to us about international service. Dee?
Good evening, everybody. When I came to Rotary first, we had the wonderful example of what had been done with polio before I ever arrived here. And then during the first year I was here, and even before that, I had the benefit of meeting Rich Casuccio, who Michelle is going to marry here very soon, who was doing a mission to Peru on an annual basis with Interplast, which is one of the plastic surgery organizations that fixes kids' smiles, like Smile Train and so on. And shortly after that, that mission was expanded to include general surgery and I was lucky enough to go on a couple of missions down there, and it was such a rewarding experience. We fixed hernias, we did this, we did that, we did the other. And Rotary was part of that all the time. They paid every year, even before we had an official foundation type grant situation or anything like that. They paid for nurses, this club paid for nurses to go down with that trip basically annually. In 2001, Interplast decided that they wanted to withdraw from the general surgery business and become just a plastic surgery outfit again. And so we started our own local group called Doctors Overseas, and this club supported multiple missions again to Peru with that organization over the years up until 2005 when we ran into some political headwinds down there. However, we're still working on it and hoping that a trip is going to go actually this time to Cusco in next May. So this trip was, this club was instrumental in the success of those trips, and Michelle could tell you a lot more about it probably than I can by now. Rich was so heavily involved in all of those. This got us on the way. Somebody somewhere in, I think it was 2007, suggested that we apply for a grant for something at district simplified grants. And we had never done that before. I had just got back from Cambodia and had witnessed the horrible conditions there and suggested we do a water grant. So we did one with the district. They gave us $1,500 and we built one of these rainwater collection systems for a school in Cambodia, because in many areas of Cambodia and other places in the world, there's so much arsenic naturally occurring in the soil that it leads to a tremendous amount of illness, cancer, etc. So this provides a method of collecting uncontaminated water, which is then, we use ceramic filters to filter before it's actually drinking. It provides water for the school, of course, but also for the surrounding population. So these So we did that, and we were on our way, and we've done so many grants since then. We've done multiple grants in Nepal. We've equipped a library in Colombia, and we've done other projects, one of which is another water project, which will be going forward. We're now involved in the Future Visions with Rotary and the Foundation. They want us to do multi-club projects, multi-year projects that are very well researched, well funded, and are followed up indefinitely. We're involved with, we're now 8 clubs in the area, and we're building wells and latrines in Zambia, in the Copper Belt. And we have 14 of them who've already gone in. We were involved in the ones that were put in last year. We're applying for more grants for this year, and we're well on our way to having, I think we've had some approvals, but still ongoing. And we're lucky in that between the Tyson's Club and people in this area, we have Engineers Without Borders involved, and we have a water quality specialist who's in the Dulles Club, and there's a trip going over there next May. So anybody who's interested in going and doing due diligence in Zambia to see what we've done over there, let us know. They're looking for volunteers. So we can be really proud of what we've done, not just with the water projects, but also with health and education. And these are the concentrations of Rotary going forward, so I think we've done a real good job. So I can't account for the photograph of Jim the snake charmer, but he's not here to explain it himself.
Thank you, Dee. This reminds me of the fact that not only are we in Rotary involved in international affairs, but we draw other people into the nurturing of others throughout the world and the care of others throughout the world, whether it be the issue with polio and water in Zambia, whatever it may be. And I'm also reminded of the fact that in 1988, this club sponsored a young lady from Brazil in the international sense. And that young lady stayed with Tricia and I and our family for almost a year. And she's become a very successful businesswoman in Brazil at this point in time. But I will never forget that she would come to the club, we'll say every month, maybe twice a month. And she came to the club one night, and we had soft-shell crabs at the Laurel Brigade Inn. And rarely do we have soft-shell crabs. I mean, those of you who like soft-shell crabs like I do, I mean, this was heaven. I mean, you can't eat enough of them. And they were really, Ellen had really done it right. We had the great soft-shell crabs. Well, I was sitting next to Danny at the dinner, and she got this horrible look on her face. I mean, just ashen. I thought she was going to get ill. And she said, "Do you eat those things?" I said, "Yes, they're soft-shell crabs." She thought they were spiders. Amazon, because apparently that's as big as spiders get in the Amazon. And we in Rotary actually ate spiders. But I told her they weren't spiders. Let's see. Mike, you're going to talk about upcoming efforts and service for the club.